being here today. As I was testing out 1541's, I have connected two of them to a Commodore 64. This requires two power cables, two serial cables, two disk drives, one Commodore 64, you know, a power supply, a video cable, some sort of monitor. So right now we have two device 8s. When I turn the 64 on, they do their little reset thing. Now, when I do, oops, oh, my typing is on. Alright, what's happened here? There we go. Okay, so what happens when you have two disk drives hooked up and they're both device 8 and you have a disk in, it will go and find the one and the other one will flash with an error message. I'm just going to have a look. Yes. I'm thinking it would not be a bad thing to switch the cursor color. So we have the test demo disc, and if you've been watching previous episodes, you'll find that I found a lot of programs didn't seem to work on the Vic-20. They seemed to work, but then they didn't work. So actually I'm going to turn this drive off, and then I'm going to load one thing. Oh, I don't see it here. Hang on. Check disk display performance. View VAM. Alright, there were different versions of this disk. So, just a moment. There was one in particular. Oh dear. Program, I guess it was on this one. Oh yeah, there's more stuff on here. Alright, there was a program called Header Change. I tried it on the Vic-20 and it didn't work. It seemed to work, but it didn't. So I'm going to run it on the 64. So we want it to 8.0. Put the target disk. We put the target disk in. So we want to, right now it is, the name of the disk is test disk. We're going to change it to blank disk. Okay to write new header. Yes. Oh, see, on the Vic-20 it never actually went and wrote. So, good. So it seems that it's done. Do we want to do another one? No. Let's load the directory. Maybe it worked. It did. Okay, so it seems a lot of programs on the test demo disk may or may not work with the Vic-20. Maybe other machines. Probably just the Vic-20 because of memory. Let's look at this directory again. This is the original disk. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. This is why we're really here. We're going to copy a disk. Perhaps this disk. And how are we going to do that? Well, we have two drives here. Both are device 8. I'll turn them both on. So I'm going to load in disk address change. Now this did work on the Vic-20. It's a very small program. Searching for device not found. Okay, there are two drives connected. Perhaps that is confusing it. Let's try that again. Alright. I'm going to reset. I'm going to switch the cursor color. Okay, now we're cooking with gas. So, I'm going to once again load disk address change. I'm going to run it. Now, it wants the old device number, it wants the new device number. Alright, okay, so now, if I turn this on, this device has been changed to 9, this will still be 8. It should be. I will try and load, comma 8. The top drive responds. I will try and load, comma 9. The bottom drive responds. Very good. Okay, so now we're going to load copy all, comma 8. File not found. Why? What have I done? Oh, right. It's now on comma 9. Right, it's on device 9. Okay. So it's loading. Now, I'm going to run it. And I'm going to copy from device 8, 0, this one, this is 8, this is 9. So it asked me, 8090, do I want to new the output disk? I do not. I wish to add to whatever is there. The disk is blank, so it's going to add to nothing, but I don't need to new it. So I'm going to say no. Now it is going to go. Oh, I can also decide if I want it to be just programs that say started with a certain letter. I do not. I just want to do an asterisk. Which will it will now look at the thing, the directory. Hold down 1 or N to select programs to be copied. So I held down Y. And if all is going as planned, and it seems to be, the first program is being copied from the top drive to the bottom drive. It does seem to be taking a while. Because remember, none of the programs on this disk were very good, not good, very big. It doesn't seem to be working. They were never very, none of them are big because they're supposedly supposed to work on the Vic-20, which a lot of them don't. Alright, this, oh, maybe I'm supposed to be, okay, no, it's copying. Remember, the 1541 is not the fastest, but it is copying.
That was easy.
So, this is it's a very small program, and it does one thing, but it does it very well. A lot of people, I would say, depending on the situation, may not sit and watch this. Way back when, they would just say, okay, fine, copy, go. Now, if there was any sort of strangeness on a disk, such as copy protection, this has nothing to do with any of that. This copies files. That's all it does. And we are getting there. But the thing of it is that it's very simple. But you have to remember to change the disk number. Now, on some of the more recent, as I say that hesitantly because they're still all like 30 years old, disk drives like the 1541's and the 1571, they had switches on the back to change the device number, little dip switches. These ones, this was kind of the catch-22. If you had to change the device number, you had to open it up, and there are two little pads. They're kind of like circles with a little line through. And you have to take a knife or something of that nature and cut the trace to change the device number. Of course, if you open the drive and do this, you void the Commodore warranty. So I suspect some people who were leery of this would have this done at one of the dealers, and maybe the dealer would just do it for free if they were saying, yeah, I need this device now, I would think. Anyway, remember, you can hook up to 4 drives, 8, 9, 10, and 11, and on the newer drives, you can just flip the switches. On these ones, you must cut the trace. Now, if you cut the trace, it's not permanent. I mean, it is, but it isn't. You can, of course, later go back with a soldering iron and reconnect where the trace was with solder, and then switch it. Most people, of course, knew what they wanted, did what they did, and were happy having things as they were. But, you know, as time goes on and, you know, systems get broken up and people sell things off, disk drives, where are we at? We're getting there. Slowly we're getting there. Disk drives might need to be changed a bit. And of course you can do it temporarily with the little program that's on the test demo disk, which is what we did. We did indeed. So, and one of the things that I thought would be good, and I am not hearing as much strange noises as I did, is that, you know, these have been sitting a long time. Who knows how long. And it's good to exercise them. So, copy all is a good way to exercise them. It just is. So, and I don't see a whole lot of light splashing or heads banging, and that is a good thing. So the drives are getting a workout. Remember, this is now device 8, this is device 9, but temporarily. Hello, Sheldon. Sheldon is wandering through. Hello. Sheldon, you gonna come up? Gonna go up and say hi? Gonna come up and say hi? Oh, gotta wait to go. Come here, Sheldon. Come here, Sheldon. Oh, there's Mr. Fluffy Cat. Hello, Sheldon. You gonna hang around for a bit? Gonna show the people your belly? Yes, this is Sheldon. Many people have seen Sheldon before, but it's funny, while I've been recording lately, Sheldon has not been wandering by. Until now. Yes. Did you hear the whir of the disk drives? Did you? So, Sheldon and his sister Penny, I think you've seen Penny much more recently, which is strange, because Penny doesn't come visit, but she has recently come over, Sheldon. They were rescued as kittens, tiny, tiny kittens. And we've had them now for a good number of years. Right, Sheldon? And they seem pretty happy. And they hang out together. And Sheldon was always more attention-seeking. And Penny always, well, kind of a scaredy cat, a little skittish. But when she decides she wants you to say hello, she wants you to say hello, but it doesn't happen very often. Isn't that right, Mr. Sheldon? And I know you can't hear it, but Sheldon, well, we're getting there. Sheldon purrs a lot. He's a very good purrer. Penny purrs as well, but not nearly as loud. Not as loud. Right, Mr. Sheldon? Yes. So, my plan, when this is finished, is to take this other version of the 1541 test demo disc and copy it as well onto the same disc to give the drives a little workout, but also the contents of this disc did change over the years because, of course, there were things on one of them for the potential. Oh, you want to get down? Okay. All right, come again. For the +4 and the Commodore 16 and other things, and of course, when the 1541 first came out, there was no such +4 or 16 or 128 or other such things. So I don't know that this is the other disc here. Is it all the latest and greatest? I don't know, but it does have some other things. Now, is it going to do me much good to copy it? Well, as I'm copying it onto my scratch disk that I often use to test disk drives with, no, it's probably not doing much. But I think I will look for another blank disk. Or I could copy the things from this one onto the other one. Except, of course, by the way, see this disk here? It's square. It cannot be written to in this current configuration. There needs to be a little notch, which I don't have a disk with a notch because it's in there. That protects you from wiping out a disk that you don't want to be wiped out. The test demo disk that is in here copying, oh, we're almost done, has a little sticker that goes over the notch. It does. Okay, we're finished. Another input disk ready. Yes, we do. So, it will be interesting, because there are some things that are the same and some things that are not the same. There is the little sticker that protects the notch. So this disk 2 is right protected. Another input disk ready? Yes. Now, I know already there are some things that are the same and some things that are different. It will, I suspect it doesn't give me a chance to replace. I think it just comes up. Are we done? Okay. Now I think it's going to come and say file exists. Yes, file exists. But how to part 3 is not on that disk. So it is going to copy it. Now, is how to part 1 and how to part 2 the same as the ones on the other disk? I don't know. I'm happy to give these disk drives a workout. And that is what they are doing.
That was easy.
Yes. So this too will take a while. So once again, these 2 disk drives were in the garage. I brought them in, I let them get to a nice temperature, and they seem to be just fine. This one has a little wah with its nameplate. I suppose I could use a little glue on that. I could. Neither of these are terribly clean or terribly dirty. Of course, I will use a magic eraser on them. I shall. But for the moment, no, we're still copying. I'll give them a bit of a workout and see that they're okay. I will, of course, document. Must document. And put notes on the bottom so I know what's what. So that when I go, oh, that's not, oh, right. Alright, yes, it sounded like maybe there was some trouble there, but there isn't really trouble. It's just finding a bunch of files that already exist. But now it is finding some that do not, so it is copying. Maybe at some point I'll try and find the various versions of the test demo disk and put them all together. Perhaps. Because see, one of the things up here is there's a plus for basic demo, C64 basic demo, and oh, SD backup C16, SD backup plus 4. That sounds to me like SD stands for single disk backup, which on a Commodore 16 it must take a long time, because with a single disk backup it will read some things in, it will read some things out, it will read some things in, and in between you've got to swap disks. That's the nice thing about having 2 drives. That was of course the joy and the beauty of the original dual disk drives from Commodore. Because you had device 8, drive 0, and drive 1. And you could copy easily, back and forth. You could do a backup. It would just back up the whole disk, boom, tickety boom, it was magic. But, you know, the dual drives were much more expensive to, for people to buy, so the typical Commodore 64 user had the great and powerful 1541. I don't think they ever came out with a dual drive, for at least Commodore didn't. There was, of course, the MSD2, which was it was great. Although I think they do fail a lot in their aging. I have one. I think there needs to be some capacitors changed. I've heard, and it's the actual drive mechanism that has the trouble with copying, copying. But they were what Commodore should have made at some point: a dual drive with the serial ports for the 64 and the IEEE port for the PETs, which meant you didn't need a bus card. Did you need a bus card? No, you didn't. You really didn't. You didn't need a bus card or a C-Link or anything else. You could just plug in with either machine, and I guess you could hook up 2 different machines at the same time, as well as other things. Anyway, it was a great driver, and also it copied faster. It backed up faster. Sometime I'll look at that. I've got to see if I can get mine working. I do, but that is another story. There are endless stories. So, Copy All by Jim Butterfield is running. There is another version I've seen of Copy All that has the device switching program in it, and it does the same thing. It tells you, what do you want? Okay, fine, good. Turn the other drives off, and it would switch it over. So if you had like 4 drives hooked up, you could, one by one. Let me think about that. I guess one by one you could switch things, but well, I'll try that sometime. See, if you turn a drive off, it goes back to 8. So maybe, yeah, you could do that, I'm sure. Once you turned one, once you had one switched over, it would not get switched. You just have to run the program a little bit. I guess 3 times to get device 8, device 9, device 10, and 11. So this continues to work. This continues to copy. It's funny, even though Jim Butterfield is gone, and I guess he's been gone now about 12 years, his programs live on. And every time I use them, I think of him. And the interesting times that we had, listening to him give talks and seminars and just, you know, hanging out a time or two. He was a great man. He will not be forgotten. Well, I know watching the 1541 copy programs is about like watching grass grow. So I'm going to leave these to, oh yeah, we got a ways to go. I'm going to leave these to work, and I'm going to see what else I can find to test out and check out. And oh, and don't forget, on December 7th, 2019, near Toronto, is the TPUG World of Commodore show. Google TPUG or deep Google World of Commodore 2019 for details. I will be there. I hope lots of people are there. It's sort of the one time in the year that around Toronto that the Commodore people gather. Lots of them. People that don't often make it to other meetings or other gatherings. I hear a little funny word there. Anyway, enough. I'll leave these to do their thing. And perhaps I'll look for another blank disk, which I'm sure I have somewhere, that I can actually copy some more things, test some more things, and tinker and ponder. Goodbye, Sheldon, wherever you are. Goodbye, Penny. Bye for now.